Hi everybody, thank you for being here with me again. I wanted to speak about study groups. In the prior presentation, of course, as I will continue now to not say people's names to protect their privacy, but I can still share my experiences in the study group. Study groups can be so excellent when you gather with people like I did, people of all ages, male and female, who have a particular specialty in metaphysics, occult science, ancient African history, and it's a wonderful place to go to study and be inspired. Always, of course, take a notebook and a pen. Or if you go hear a speaker, you always walk with a notebook and a pen so that you can take notes and study later, which is what I spent today doing, studying what I learned and what we talked about on yesterday. I viewed some of the presentations that some of the members shared. So if you can, I do urge you to find a study group so that you can continue on your spiritual growth and path. Again, when the student is ready, the teachers do come. Okay? And another thing about a study group for me is not following any person, not needing a leader, because every person in the group is going to offer something positive to the group. Okay? To expand and extend awareness that we've already gained. Because when we think of spirituality, have you ever thought about what does it mean to be spiritual? Well, we're going to touch on that a little bit later with one of the people I studied today, and who has said that spirituality is how do you face the day's current challenges based on what you know about what is good about your connection with the divine. Now, we also know that I'm healing the root chakra, and obviously there is imbalance there because of the physical discomfort that I am experiencing. So I am continuing to work on that. But I do know that based on my current learning, talking about Black eradication, talking about living 24 years with bogus Hiv stigma and how traumatic that is, you know, no love, no hugs, no touch, you know, the stigma, no intimacy. I have been very angry about that, singing about it, teaching about it, trying to get people to have a sense of compassion about it. And somehow I'm imagining now that I perhaps just have to let that go, because when we realize that God is everything and everyone, we can even learn to appreciate those who caused us trauma, those who try to attack us, those who are eradicating us from the planet, because we know that suffering leads us higher. And we all are, if your Kundalini is awakening, you know that you will not be reincarnating. So maybe there's just a lot to burn off, and it's very challenging. You know, again, with Kundalini, you know, once your Kundalini is awakened, you're either going to be accentuated in the power, as I've said, or you're going to be consumed by it. And I've always liked winning, you know, but lately, in releasing my material preferences, ways that the world is that I'm having to turn away from, is very painful to go through. Again, Kundalini is a treacherous process. Om Namah Shivaya. Always know what a mantra means before you begin chanting it, and continue all your life to learn new things, because if it's not new, it's not knowledge. If it doesn't challenge you, stress you, and stretch you and your consciousness, then it is not knowledge, and we are on a quest to know thyself. But anyway, I wanted to speak quickly about some of the things we discussed at our meeting in our study group on yesterday. Again, the gentleman who was helping me heal with these products, and the Moore guy who has challenged me to get back to the all is one principle. Even though we are angry and we have good reason to be angry, we can still realize its place in the divine scheme of things. And so I've been meditating on that, tending to my rectal area. Tomorrow it'll be the dentist, as I mentioned to you in the other presentation. But anyway, on yesterday, we spoke about several things that I'll be studying until next week, next Sunday, because we're meeting once a week. We talked about several things that I was happy to learn about, things I hadn't thought of in certain ways. And that's another good reason to be in a study group. Okay, so we talked about eating foods that are alive. Most of these you all already know. And water, the importance of water. And we talked about herbs and their effect on the body. Again, they were familiar with HIV, and many of the books that are out there, I've been telling people there are many books out there like mine. I just happen to be the person who's living through it, and am the living proof of everything that I teach. I actually took 2 books on yesterday, and everybody is excited about it, so I'm happy to hear their thoughts about the book. Okay? As far as diet, I learned the importance of seeds, eating seeds, particularly watermelon seeds. They are carbon-based. That is directly related to our melanin. So I grew up, spitting out the seeds, but now I'm going to begin eating them when watermelon comes back in season. I learned about lemons and lemon water and the body being alkaline. And I learned about onions. For those of you who want to develop your sexual stamina, cut a quarter-size onion and tape it under the penis, touching the scrotum, and that cleanses that area and increases the sexual stamina. Okay? And then on January 5th, which I believe is a Saturday, we're going to be exploring the moon. We're going to do a ritual on the day of the new moon. That ritual involves burning sage. We're going to gather as a group near moving, running water, I think somewhere in Lithuania or Panola. And then basically it's a sun gazing activity. So hopefully the sun will be shining on that day. Unlike many of these days, which everything seems Kim-domed out. But we're going to hope for the best and create that day in a perfect way. But learning about the phases of the moon and how in voodoo culture, which just like Kemet, all world spiritual systems really do come from our ancestors. I think about how I've always been friendly to homeless people, and how understanding reincarnation, you actually may be entertaining a former pharaoh who has sacrificed and returned here, understanding the universal law of rhythm. The Moors teaching about us being high spiritual beings, descending to this low state where we are in now through slavery. And some people, even to this day, are suffering. So even though HIV and physical illness is horrific, we are learning a lot, and we are developing, and nothing will stop our spiritual growth and our spiritual rise. So I'm looking forward to January 5th, the new moon. Also, one of the people in the study group showed some clips, one of Bobby Hemmett, where Bobby Hemmett talks about we have the power to influence how others think. It involves the medulla oblongata in the back part of the head back here, and shooting a beam of light around into your third eye, and then beaming that light at a person that we're influencing. I find that interesting. I have another friend who uses that with the chakras. You know, if he is in the company of someone that has some issues with the heart chakra, he'll, while speaking to them, beam green heart energy to the person. And sometimes you can actually observe the change in the behavior of the person based on your influencing them in a positive way. So begin to or continue to see yourself as powerful spiritual beings. I'm doing the same thing in dealing with my root chakra. I am determined to heal this area of my body and to be here for the completion of my mission here on the planet. So I want to thank you all for indulging me every day. We're not bipolar. We're not schizophrenic. We are spiritually evolving. There's awakening, blackening, crucifixion, resurrection, and rebirth. I want to, again, urge you to add the playlist, Conscious Dr. Damian Laster YouTube channel playlist, and perhaps consider in the morning, like I do, reviewing those presentations and getting yourself in the mood to have a wonderful spiritual day. Okay, also, I mentioned that we talked about the voodoo culture, and it is nothing like what we were raised when our history was demonized. This is where true spiritual power is, and knowing all about it and giving honor to our ancestors, they shine on that, and our lives are better because of it. Okay? Now, today, I watched the presentation, The Science of Voodoo. Do look into that. I learned a lot about Haitian and voodoo culture, and Toussaint, who defeated Napoleon Bonaparte with voodoo. And so in Kemet, we are calling in the dark side entities to help, and voodoo spirituality is an extension of that. Okay? I love you all. I'm still waiting, still waiting, still waiting to recover my penis and sexual freedom. I'm still waiting. Still waiting. I am Dr. Damian Laster, the Conscious Doctor, Rainbow Warrior, Metaphysical Science, Self-Healing the Body.